I am Spartacus.
I am Spartacus.
No, I am Spartacus.
Fine.
I am Maximus Durimus. No,
I am Maximus Decimus Meridius.
Yeah, thank you. Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife. I will have my revenge. Russell Crowe, what are you doing here? Oh, in case you haven't been noticed, we're talking about Spartacus. I have to admit, Nick, I got pretty tired of that in that game. Every time I win the goddamn match, you just... I'm like, why do you guys all scream the same?
I mean, there's no difference to it either. I mean, they couldn't even just dance or do something stupid.
I know, honestly. Or throw your sword into the crowd. Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Yeah, we're talking about Spartacus Legends. It's a free arcade game that came on to PSN and Xbox Live Marketplace. I must repeat myself. It is free. It is free, and it is basically, it makes its money with the microtransactions. It is essentially a game I've been wanting for a long time, is a fighting game that's just gladiators. I don't know about you, Nick. I've been wanting a game where I get to play as a gladiator for once. I never get to see that. You know, you always see it maybe in Skyrim or whatever, where you can go into an arena and fight, but not one where you're literally a Roman gladiator working your way up, slaughtering other gladiators. I like that.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I remember when I was freaking young, I bought this game that was, I thought it was pretty much to be about gladiators, and it was a turn-based game, and had dragons and shit, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I just wanted to be a gladiator. Come on.
I think on the last generation, we actually had a gladiator game called Gladius, but I never got around to playing it because it showed a guy standing in a ring and all that, and it you know, had good ratings, but you know, it's kind of one of those hard to find games, so it was one of those ones I wish I could check out. This game, I have to say, it's pretty good. It's a little clunky. It has some I don't know about you, Nick. I found the rolling, because you know, you basically have different types of soldiers you can pick, or gladiators. You can pick two swords, two daggers. You could be one of the guys with a trident, and I don't think you get a net, but a trident and shield, a sword and shield, or just a two-handed sword. And they all essentially can do the same things. Did you see a difference in how the two played, really? Like, I noticed the dagger guy was a little quicker, but, you know, the sword and shield guy didn't seem like he had much more defense than the two daggers. I don't know about you.
Defense-wise, I mean, I don't think there's that much of a difference, but I mean, when you're just talking about attacking, oh, hell yeah, there's a big difference.
Oh, yeah. I can say that, too, because, like, my main guy was the two daggers, and he became a bad motherfucker. Like, once I got him through the ranks and stuff, I mean, he kind of started out pretty badass, but I got him ranked up, I got him good armor and stuff. He started becoming unstoppable. And I got, like, another guy who I had some gold coins, and I used them to get another guy who had a sword and shield. He wasn't as good, even though he was technically a higher level than my two-dagger guy. It's something about the sword and shield combo is just, it's not as good. I've noticed that with certain combos you have aren't as good. What classes did you play as? Like, what were your gameplay types that you used?
I mean, I definitely tried different things. I mean, especially because when you're going up against different gladiators, sometimes you want to choose a different soldier just because it's better. Mm-hmm. I mean, first I kind of started off with the two-handed sword guy just because he had that range on people, and they wouldn't be able to get close. But then I'd fight someone who has like a trident, and they would just fuck me up because they had a longer reach on me. But overall, I mean, the guys with the daggers, they are just the best, I think, because they're just quick, and their heavier attacks have a leap into them.
Yeah.
So it allows you to get closer against the people that have like the spears and tridents and all that.
I have to say, though, one thing that didn't annoy me about this game, you're saying, is when they make you pick a different character. They're like, oh, you can't progress through the ranks unless you had, like, a guy who... The original reason why I picked a guy with two daggers is because the first area, the only way you can get to the boss is if you kill a guy with two daggers, or defeat him with one of the guys with two daggers. And if they only did it once in a while, that'd be fine, but I noticed the higher you go up, the more often that occurs. And, you know, normally you're thinking, well, what's the big deal? So what? It becomes a big deal when you have to when you have to basically re-equip this guy, you have to get him better weapons. You have to earn the money. You have to earn the money to afford this guy. I give the game one thing though. If you buy armor for one of your characters, you could put it on all of the characters. So if you have like a good helmet you have on your main guy, well, the guy who's below him, you could be like, oh, you can wear this helmet too because that's fine.
That's just. I didn't really have any of my gladiators get killed, but because I didn't like some of their fighting styles, I would just send them off to the mines.
I love the way they always put that, like send this rotting, rat-eating piece of shit to the mines. I was like, Jesus, I didn't think he was that bad. I liked him. It's better now. The game's better now because when I first got this game, I was one of the first people to download it. It was pretty buggy. And people were probably not touting it. I say download it now. If you downloaded it before and you're like, whoa, this is kind of bad, re-download it again. They fix the bugs because, like me, I had a problem where they started me out. When you first get the game or download the game, they'll start you out with a soldier. They started me out with a sword and shield guy, which was fine for a while. I was able to up through the ranks, but I got to the point where they said you needed 2 daggers. I was like, well, not a problem. I have an open slot here where I could get a guy with 2 daggers. The game literally would not let me equip another guy. I'd press X to get another guy. It would just nothing would happen. I'm like, why not? I have the money for it. Let me do it. I actually deleted my sword and shield guy, saying like, well, maybe it's just being a dick. Nothing would happen. I literally could not progress in the game until I realized it had bugs. It also has some points where I had it freeze on me a couple times. I don't know if it froze on you at all.
No, I didn't have any freezes.
I had it freeze on me a couple times. Also, we have to say, you didn't mention it, sort of, but your gladiators, not in the beginning part. In the beginning part, no one dies, so you're fine. But once you get past the beginning part, if you get your ass kicked, basically, your gladiator only dies if you get your ass handed to you. And he will get killed. And if your gladiator gets killed, he's done. He's gone. You have to get a new one. And I loved that part of the game. I loved being like, you don't want to just go running in each battle, so what if I get my ass kicked? That boss may kill you, If you get your ass... I actually lost one of my guys. I only lost one guy. And he was a guy I just bought. I spent like 7 gold coins to get him. And he's like badass. And I was like, oh, I can kick his ass. And the dude handed me my ass because I was a sword and shield guy. He was a dagger, of course. He cuts off my guy's arm. I'm like, oh, he's not dead. Granted, that time of day, in that age, he would be dead. So... it really is. It's a fun. I guess we haven't mentioned. It is a fighting game. It is just a fighting game, and it's nothing special. Like it's not as defined as a Mortal Kombat or anything. But for a sword and shield fighting game, it does pretty well. I don't know. Would you say it does pretty well?
Yeah, the gore really isn't that bad. Usually when if you do cut off someone's face,
I know,
you don't see the skull or brain or anything like that. It's just like smeared over. Yeah. And the blood that comes out is just like red toothpaste, pretty much.
Yeah, I know. It's literally like the red part of the Trident toothpaste, I do like. I would say I liked. It kind of teases you at the beginning though, because if you fight somebody with a sword and they end up hitting your guy, if your guy wins the match, you'll see your guy has a cut across his chest. Well. You only get that one. It's not like if you get your ass kicked but you still prevail, your character's going to be all beat up or anything. No. It's really just that one slice across the chest. Like we said, I had mentioned before, you make microtransactions. You can make those with gold coins. You can earn gold coins when you get more famous, but you only get like 2 at a time. Or you can spend money and you can get like 50 or 100, or you can just keep going up. You can get a bunch. The gold coins are used to buy good weapons or better just overall gladiators. Gladiators that just start out playing out good. You don't have to like grind through it. So, I think that's okay. That's acceptable for this type of game because this game kind of, as I've been noticing, the game really wants you just to grind through it. That's why they make you like, oh, well, you can't just pick your dagger guy and just kick everybody's ass. You have to, some areas, to fight this guy, you need to be another guy with a giant hammer. Sorry, that's the only way you're going to beat him for whatever reason. Whatever. What I also like, though, no matter if you win or lose, you still win money. So it's not just total dick over. You're not totally dicked over. Dustin. Yeah, Dustin is in this review, people. Is there anything you'd like to ask us about this game?
So it seems kind of simple to me. Is it simplified compared to fighting games?
Yeah, you don't have combos or anything. You have all you get is sort of perks you can get.
So it's more upgrade based?
It's sort of upgrade.
Cool.
There's simple upgrades. Like you beat a certain guy and you can earn a perk. Well, you're depending what gladiator you have, you only have a certain amount of perks you can have at a time. And you have to spend gold coins to remove a perk if you don't want it. So some perks are really good. Some like you have plus 15 damage with some defense with that. And you have some that are just like, earn more crowd favor. You get 20% more crowd favor. Crowd favor, if you earn a lot of crowd favor, you can execute your enemy. That's the only thing crowd favor does.
So is it always a one-on-one combat then?
From what I've experienced, yes. I wouldn't say it only ever is one-on-one. What I really think is cool is like when you start out the game, you start out in the training camps, and you even start with training equipment, and no one dies, of course, and you're just kind of fighting. But you slowly work up, so then like you will go up to market streets where you're just fighting in the streets, killing people, which I love how it's okay in that universe. And maybe it was in real life, I don't know. Basically, eventually, from what I'm picturing, I never got that far because I wasn't going to invest that much time into this free game, but I'm picturing you eventually can make it to Rome and fight in the Colosseum.
I didn't get that far, but I did look up a video, and you do end up in the Colosseum.
Now, I bet you the final battle, though, you fight Spartacus. I'm betting you anything. It is pretty. I mean, I don't want to say it is really good combat. I actually really enjoyed it because it's not fast-paced combat. It's pretty slow. You can block, you can parry. If you parry, you can do that. And you can't just stand there and block either. Because if you just stand there and block, eventually you're going to run out of stamina. And your stamina is used with blocking and rolling. Never attacking, which also kind of comes with good. And if you run out of stamina, then your enemy actually can get a good, like, full-on combo, basically. He can just hit you and hit you and hit you for some time. You can also be staggered if you get hit too much or in a certain way, I think. And it's kind of, for a free game, I wasn't expecting much out of this, but I think it was pretty well done. I don't know. I think I have this Gladiator nostalgia right now where I'm just like giving this game a pass because it's free and I get to play as a fucking Gladiator.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to download it based on what you guys said.
Oh yeah, it is. It's something I can see myself going back to time and time again. Where I'm just like, you know what? I have time to kill. There's nothing I really want to play right now. I'm gonna go play Spartacus. It's not something I want to delete. It is a bunch of fun. I like the Gladiator combat. I'm a big fan of it. You can go for low attacks, high attacks. I don't know. What else do you want to add to this, Nick?
Well, did you play any of the multiplayer?
I live by the hand of fighting games. I avoid multiplayer because somehow, some way, I always end up getting in the match with that asshole who really digs the shit out of the game, and all he plays is that. So he's gonna hand me my ass. So no. What about you?
I did one match, and that was with the. From what it looks like, you have like two different types. Like if you do a quick match, I'm not sure. I think it throws you in with you don't get to play as one of your personal guys. It just kind of throws you in, I think. And then if you want to do a acquainted match, then that's when you can pick one of your guys, and that's what I did. And I barely kind of escaped by the skin of my teeth. I beat this one guy. We were both two-handed sword guys. He had a better gladiator, but I ended up trapping him in a corner and just having to spam him.
That's awesome. Okay, I gotta ask. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Do you know if you pick that one where it's like your actual gladiator that you've been working with in the single player? Do you think can he actually die in the multiplayer?
I don't know, but I'm guessing probably not.
I don't. I mean, you'd have to probably get your ass kicked, which I don't know anyone who's that terrible at the multiplayer where you only get a couple hits in or whatever. Yeah, really. I do have to say though, I ever got executions with my double dagger guy, and I have to say the executions got a little old because he only did the same one where he grabs around the neck and then he cuts off his face, which I have to say those are some sharp fucking daggers. Cutting somebody's face off. I don't know. Did you see any other executions with anybody else?
I've had like 200 swords. You cut off their head. Sometimes you cut off their arm. It's nothing like super fancy. It's just usually a singular cut to just the body or something.
I kind of wish, like, I really hope though, because if you get the Rome, that if you get to the stagger opponent, and they're like, basically it's kind of that you're almost missing the finish him in Mortal Kombat. But I kind of wish they would show a little cut thing where the Pharaoh, or not the Pharaoh, goddammit, the Caesar decides whether or not he lives or loses or dies. Maybe sometimes he'll put his thumb up, and then you're just like, all right. And same thing with you. Like sometimes it might be a crapshoot if you get killed or live or die. I think that'd be a novel idea. I understand right now I'm currently fighting in the streets. I'm on the boss fight on the street guy. So of course no one's it's all gonna be like, kill him. So, I don't know what else to add to this.
If you want something that just, kills time.
And it's free. I mean, fucking A, it's fucking free. I know. And shut up with your puns. Yeah, it's free, and if you're into, it's better. Okay, some people might have seen some video of this and think, oh, it's just like that Deadliest Warrior game. It's much better than the Deadliest Warrior game. The Deadliest Warrior game was dog shit. This game is actually worth your time. So I'm gonna honestly, I'm gonna have to give it a, it's free, and the only reason why I'm gonna give it this rating is because it is free. I'm gonna give it a B because I have that gladiator boner going for me, and I love anything with gladiators in it. Don't ask why. I'm just a big fan of them, and the game is free, and it's just a good time waster. So I'm gonna give it a solid B. It's it's worth checking out. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything, but maybe your time if you're just going to stand there and look at a loading screen. What are you going to give it, Nick?
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone has to ask you why you like gladiators, because I'm pretty sure the majority of us love gladiators.
Oh, I know.
But before I give it a rating, Dustin, do you have any more questions?
Oh, yeah, Dustin, any questions?
So it's 2D then?
It's kind of a 3D scape, but, it fights 2D.
Okay.
For the most part. For the most part, you really just have your up, down, high attack, low attack, medium attack. You really don't get, you don't have to worry about someone coming in from the side or stuff like that. I forgot to mention though, the rolling mechanic is pretty dog shit in this game. I don't know if you thought it was so. Maybe it's just I was wearing too heavy of armor or something, or, I gave a rating really early. Depending what armor you have is depending what you can do. So some of them are good, like some weapons are good at parrying, some are bad at it, some armor is good at rolling, but some, if the ones that aren't have better defense, so on and so forth, So it does have that kind of, you pick and choose what kind of gladiator you're going to play as. I've been more of I wasn't a big fan of the rolling, so I kind of picked more of I can block your ass and parry you. I don't know, what kind of fight style were you more, Nick? Were you rolling and dodging, or were you blocking and stabbing?
It really depended on what weapon I was using. I mean, for daggers, it was a lot more, light speed, but I wouldn't use, I never really did use roll, just because it seemed more of a problem, because you had to hold down for PS3, you had to hold down the, L3 and press, R1 or whatever, so it was kind of just not worth the time, for the most part.
I also played on the PS3, and I don't know about the Xbox version. Nick, that's also on our show, but not now. He was saying he wasn't actually able to download it for some reason, like Xbox wouldn't let him, it was having problems or whatever, so otherwise he was going to play it as well, but he couldn't physically download it, so all I can say is, Dustin, give it a shot. It is, it's pretty in-depth for a free game. Do you know who the developer was?
Nope.
Nah, me neither, I don't remember. I think it was one of the bigger ones though, like Ubisoft or...
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was Ubisoft.
Was it Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Ubisoft. I want to see more games like this. I want to see more just free to play games just come out like this. I'm not going to do any of the microtransactions, but I'll always give them a shot.
Yeah, why not?
Enough to justify microtransactions, then you might.
Oh yeah, if it's this game encourages it because, like I said, to get the good weapons and good characters, I mean, it takes a while to earn the gold coins. So, I mean, it kind of encourages it, but you can get around with just using a normal guy with silver coins and stuff. I don't know. Anything else you want to ask Dustin or add, Nick?
How does it look for being a free game?
Oh, okay. Now you get into that. Yeah, like we said, okay. Like we said, it has gore, but it's kind of piss poor gore. And like Nick was saying, the blood basically looks like someone just smeared jam on them. Like they're fighting with like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I'm like, it's kind of like, it's pretty pathetic. The character models kind of look like all the white people look the same and all the black people look the same, unless they're from the show itself. They kind of all look the same, in my opinion. But it doesn't matter. You're gonna put a helmet on the asshole anyways, so what do you care? And like we said, they all have the same roar, and also the music is all the same too. They kind of have the same track, just going and going and going and going. I don't know, Nick. Anything else?
No.
With how it looks, I don't know if you want to.
I'm probably gonna give this probably just a B. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like, I would be if this was a game that they charged even like $10 for. I don't think I would be as lenient as I am with them being free. I mean, so being that it's free, I say, you know what, more power to you. It's a free fucking game, so go for it. Yeah, that's it. We're 2 Bs and a pod. Let's, if you're not going to lose anything. Seriously, people, just try it out. And that's it. I don't know what else. Basically, let's end with, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Are you here?